Welcome, dear readers. In these times of stress and chaos, our intention is to bring encouragement by reminding you that you have done the work and are spiritually prepared and qualified to see beyond the present violence and negativity. Because you are of the spiritually awakened, you understand that the high resonating energies pouring to Earth at this time are affecting everyone, often causing them to act out in ways reflective of fear and confusion. Increasingly more individuals and groups are awakening to and embracing a new sense of oneness. For the first time, increasingly more individuals are seeking to help those struggling both far and near, either financially or in hands-on ways. Even activities that arise solely from a human sense of sympathy or empathy indicate a receptivity to the deeper truth of spiritual oneness. This in turn is seeding collective awareness with more love and a higher sense of individual rights and value, not yet the full consciousness of spiritual oneness, but a crack in the door. Those choosing to continue disregarding the suffering and needs of others simply because they are different from themselves, are discovering that once commonly accepted beliefs based in separation have become obsolete in the minds of many, and that there is less and less support for their views. The ongoing ascension process taking place both globally and personally is causing many previously accepted beliefs to disappear because the energy that originally created and has maintained them is no longer. You are ready for light work in its highest form, which is being the light. Being light means that a part of your consciousness is always open to and aware of oneness with God's source divine reality, regardless of what you may be doing in the outer scene. Most of you live busy lives that involve many forms of activity done both alone and with others. Because of your evolutionary status, you came to Earth to live from a higher level of awareness than the general unawakened majority. Being the light may seem to be doing nothing because you have been taught throughout lifetimes to do. Living from a consciousness of oneness at all times is a higher sense of doing that makes you a light holder, broadcaster, carrier, teacher, and high spiritual light worker. Every individual consciousness is connected to every other consciousness because there is only one consciousness. Because there is only one, individualized states of consciousness are drawn to similar states of consciousness seeking alignment, birds of a feather. When a state of conscious oneness with Source, God, divine reality is attained, it automatically flows and aligns with those states of consciousness able to align with it. Your oneness with God automatically constitutes your oneness with the spiritual reality of every living thing, and with every quality of God, one life, one consciousness, one substance, one law, one mind, and one cause and effect. When you hold light of truth in consciousnesses, it acts to lift, teach, inspire, and heal those able to receive it in their consciousness. Those who have not yet attained a level of consciousness able to align with these higher frequencies, but who are actively seeking and ready for them, can and are often lifted into them simply through the presence of another's evolved state of consciousness, which in reality is their consciousness. This is how the Master Jesus did his healing work. Those seeking help brought themselves to him and were lifted into his state of consciousness where disease did not exist. Doing in the sense of actions taken to make things better will continue for the majority for a while yet, but you came prepared to serve from a higher level, in ways that could lift the three-dimensional belief system out of its continual need to fix, heal, correct, punish, and force change, and into easier and more loving ways of living. You incarnated to assist in opening dense and struggling states of consciousness to an awareness of Earth as being a spiritual universe peopled with sons of God. Being is actually doing in the highest spiritual sense. Do not make it something difficult that you must worry about doing correctly or with rigid rules. Set your intention, and then do the best you can. As you practice, reminding yourself often who you are, it will become familiar whether you do it as you go about your day at home and work, or sitting in a 1 or 30-minute meditation without an agenda. There are still some who believe that meditation and time spent within is a time for asking, visualizing, begging, and even demanding for what they want or think they need. These activities represent three-dimensional thinking based in separation, and are not a higher state of being. The minute an agenda is attached to meditation or being, it becomes praying instead of praying, and will act to create and further maintain beliefs of I don't have. Resting in the awareness of divine completeness being already fully present within, rather than seeking to draw something to you, allows your already present light to flow where it is needed and can be received. You will probably never know when or where this light is received, but that is not your concern. Your work is simply to be the light automatically, making it available to any and all open to receive it world over and even on the other side. It is a new time, and it must be understood that many commonly accepted ways of living will never go back to the way they previously were. Every material manifestation is a mind-formed interpretation of a spiritual reality, because divine consciousness is the only substance there is. The density of third-dimensional energy on Earth does not allow the realities of spirit to manifest as their spiritual form, so they are interpreted and translated into energetically denser forms able to be seen and utilized on Earth. Example: modes of transportation, car, airplane, train, etc. are material interpretations of divine omnipresence. Because collective consciousness is changing, many material forms will be changing as well. Earth is a wonderful and beautiful planet, a place in which many have chosen to grow, evolve, learn, and enjoy, but it has not been experienced in its purest beauty because of third-dimensional energy, the densest and lowest resonating energy of many dimensions. Do not feel sadness or fear in the belief that Earth's ascension into a higher dimensional frequency will mean the loss of what you have come to love on Earth: nature, pets, creativity, and loving interactions with others, because a spiritual reality is permanent, and the expressions of it that you have known and come to love will continue in higher and better form. All is proceeding according to the divine plan, which is the eventual awakening of every soul to its true identity as one. God's plan can never be sidetracked or stopped by the ego-based illusory thinking of those who have no awareness of truth, because it is the reality and only power. We are the Arcturian group.